Hello everyone, this is Karan from IIT Delhi and I welcome all of you to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we have one very special guest. We have with us Sarthak Sarin, who secured All India rank 17 in IIT Jam 2021 chemistry examination. Yes, you heard it right, 1717. And he also qualified TIFR and selected for TIFR Mumbai. And he also got shortlisted for interviews in various ICERs. So we are happy to have Sarthak here. Thank you, Sarthak, for taking out time and coming on my channel.
No, Karan, it's an honor to be here.
Okay. Sarthak, first of all, introduce yourself to our viewers.
Okay, so
a small introduction about yourself.
Small. Okay, so
great achievements and a small introduction.
Okay, so I'm Sarthak Sarin, as Karan stated, and I am currently pursuing my masters at IIT Delhi. And Karan already told about my JAM rank, although I find it not to be very good, जैसे कि ये बता रहा है, but इतना hype उसके around है नहीं. Then yes, I've qualified for TIFR Mumbai and also TIFR Hyderabad. Then I've been shortlisted for ICERs. Yes, I think that's pretty much it. जो उसका achievement aspect.
Exactly, and that's pretty great. Actually, pretty great. That's a lot. So in this video, we will be discussing the strategy which Sarthak followed, and he will be giving you tips and advices. So please watch the complete video till the end. This will be very, very helpful to all of you. So Sarthak, let's get back to the past. Like, when did you get to know about IIT Jam? Like, when did you get to know about it? Like what IIT Jam is, and you have to prepare for that.
I think probably in my second year of my graduation. Second year, I think when my just after my final year exams of my first year, I think right around that time somebody told me ki so institutes are holding their demo classes for this exam called IIT Jam. I had no clue what that is. I had no clue what I wanted to do apart from this chemistry. I knew nothing about anything except chemistry. So I was advised that I should also go for these demos, and I did, and I found out through those institutes.
Okay, nice. So basically, like, then only your Jam preparation journey started.
Yes, pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Okay, so like, how was your preparation journey? Like, how was it? And did you, like, as you mentioned, I guess you prepared from some institute, right?
Yeah, I did. So it was.
But we will be discussing all the strategy also for the people who are not doing preparation from any institute, and we also will be discussing like for the both of the people, like who are taking institute or who are not. Okay, now Sarthak, say.
All right. So I guess I took the help of an institute, but my journey has been very. It has been somewhat of a roller coaster. I joined a 2-year batch. I didn't exactly do a lot in that first year. I studied. I didn't study that.
This happens with everyone.
Yeah. So I think the main kick that happened was after that first year. So that is why I believe people who say I only have this much amount of time left, or I only have 5 months or whatever, how much time is left? 5 months are left, I suppose. So people say that. See, thing is, those two people who study for 2 years, they don't necessarily study for 10 hours throughout that 2 years.
Exactly.
So,
and even to be very honest, that 10 hour study comes like at the end of the examination, like around January, November, December.
Exactly. So the people who are starting probably now or who have recently started are just on track. Like they're doing well.
Exactly.
So I feel like even if they are doing it without some coaching self, some institute self, they can still do it. Yes, what I say.
Exactly. That's not the point. That's the institute just gives you a right direction to proceed and like helps you to maintain consistency. We will be coming on to this point. Okay.
All right.
So as like Sarthak, the exam is on 13th February 2022. We have with us 4 to 5 months. Like students have 4 to 5 months left. So there will be two kinds of students right now. One who might have been preparing since 6 months, 1 year or 2 year or so, and other kind of people like who just have started a month back or so. So we will be discussing like what advice would you like to give, or what the strategy would you like to share? First of all, I would like to know about your strategy. Like you followed any special strategy, or what was your plan? How like you planned your preparations?
Uh, Specifically to me, I think the most important thing to me was I wanted to build on my concepts like very thoroughly.
Okay.
Like it was a very
That's a very great point Sarthak mentioned.
yeah. So it was very essential to me. I believed if I'm not satisfied with what I'm studying, I have not studied it. It's simple as that. If
Exactly.
I'm not satisfied with the explanation, I'll look it up. If I'm not satisfied with satisfied with what the teacher has said, I'll look it up in some book. I need to be certain.
Yes, that's what I always also say in my videos, that you don't have to do the formality in completing the lectures.
Right.
You don't have to do that formality. You have to understand the lectures. Exactly. Right. Because if your concepts are clear, you can, even if you are slow, you will succeed.
Yeah, definitely. Exactly. So that was a very important point in my preparation. Yeah.
So like now, what advice would you like to give to the people who have been preparing for so long?
Okay.
Like so around 6 months or 1 year.
Okay, so to them, I'd say that people generally lose that enthusiasm that they had in the starting. Please don't lose that.
Exactly.
Please keep up that enthusiasm. You guys have been doing well, I suppose. So please keep up that enthusiasm.
By the starting, we have like we will get AIR1, then
exactly.
like we get 2050.
Exactly.
Then at least IIT to mil jaye.
Exactly. AIR1 thus saw IIT mil jaye.
Exactly.
That is how it goes.
Even I also mentioned in one of my videos in my jam story, I used to even, this is the story with everyone. Everyone thinks whether I will be able to get IIT or not. So this is the case. Yes, we start like we will crack IIT in Goa. So you continue, like they should not lose their enthusiasm.
Yeah, surely. So whatever enthusiasm they had in the starting, कि मतलब हम तो मतलब top मारेंगे or something. So that enthusiasm has to continue all throughout that preparation. Even if it dulls down, maybe a few days, it has to come back up. Otherwise, it will be a problem. So I think that is very important. And consistency again is very important. I think it is very important for you to study consistently. I'm not saying you have to study 12 hours a day or 10 hours a day or 8 hours a day. I'm just saying study once in a day. It will keep you in a habit.
Exactly. Very, very important point. Very important. Like students often ask, like, how many hours did you study or how many hours to study for IIT Jam and everything?
There is never a right answer. Never.
Exactly. To that. But just study, productive, because people feel like we will study for 8 hours and open mobile in front of us, like we are studying for 8 hours.
Exactly. It's pointless. It's utterly pointless. So thing is, while somebody might take 8 hours, somebody might do the same amount of work in 2 hours. It is very possible. So, and
even also the point, if this is the point, like if somebody is taking like 2 hours to complete a chapter, and if a particular student faces trouble and like takes around 4 or 6 hours, like he will get worried. But this is not the point to get worried, right?
No. It's
everyone
fine.
has its own pace.
Exactly. And plus, people who try to force themselves, I'll study for 8 hours a day. They eventually, their mind will get saturated. They'll exhaust out, and they won't study for an entire week then.
Exactly.
So that's
then everything will get balanced.
Counterproductive.
Exactly. So just the main advice given by Sarthak: study like daily. It doesn't matter how many hours you study. Just study daily. Maintain a flow.
Get into the habit.
Don't break that flow.
Get into that habit.
Exactly. And now, second, the most important point: the people who have just started their jam preparation, who are just on their dream of getting an IIT or NIT. Now, any advice for them? How should they proceed? Considering only 4 to 5 months. First of all, they ask me, "Bhaiya, kya ho payega?" Like whether we will be able to crack or not.
Haan, ho payega.
Exactly. So first of all, you don't have any choice. If you're preparing, you should not think this that whether we will be able to crack or not.
Exactly. जो 2 साल से कर रहा है उसका भी नहीं पता कि हो पाएगा नहीं हो पाएगा. So you guys are on the right track. And if you guys are following Karan, he will already let you know what best things you can do to maximize that 5 months. So I think once somebody understands how important it is to segregate their work, like it is important to figure out what are those important topics to work on, what are those important concepts I need to work on, that will maximize my score. Since there is lesser time now, it is important for us to not cover the entire syllabus, but instead cover the important ones, the things that are more important, that are more rewarding, as one might say. So I think that will be important for those people. and maybe
And what would you suggest? Like practicing more and more questions or building up concepts now for these kind of people?
see, I think the process of concept building will continue way beyond their jam. Like if they're going into good institutes, it will continue way beyond jam. So for now, I'd say while they are building on their concepts, it's a good thing to do. But since they are short on time, they should maybe probably try to practice more questions. Maybe try to see if the concepts that they are learning, are they even able to apply it. So it's important for them to practice questions, especially previous year questions.
Exactly. Many people even ask me like, Bhaiya, if I solve this book and don't solve the previous year question, so this is pointless. You should solve previous year questions.
Definitely, for sure.
Exactly.
Previous year
exactly. So, like, what are the most important things to keep in mind for a student who is preparing for IIT Jam? Or any mistakes that particular student should not do, which you might have done in your preparation and you would like to advise?
I didn't take the tests very seriously in the starting. Like I used to just think of them as a burden. Like kiya test rak diya, karna padega. I think that was a mistake. Everybody should focus on those tests, because while you have studied a topic very
even if the syllabus is not completed, then also, right?
Yeah, tests are very important. Very, very, very important. They won't just work on कि मुझे ये topic आता है या नहीं आता. They will also work on कि मैं ये paper दे पा रहा हूँ नहीं दे पा रहा. It's a whole different ball game. Like it's one thing to study something, it's another to take it as a test. It's a completely different
very important point.
So tests
now, as you mentioned, you mentioned test. Now, like people get afraid, people get demotivated that we are getting low marks in the test series, low marks, low test scores, low rank. Mm-hmm. So, like, what would you like to say to them? What advice would you like to give?
I'd say that marks in those tests are somewhat important, not that important. Because I feel ki only one test would matter in the end. Only one. That is that is a jam. Exactly. That is the only marks that will matter. None of the others. So what we need to understand is that those tests are simply a means for us to understand where we are going wrong. Like, hey, I need to work on this chapter. I'm not performing so well in stereo. I need to work on this configuration. Maybe I'm bad at RS. It is simply for that. It is for you to understand, hey, I'm bad at this. Let's work on this. And maybe I'm not completing my paper on time. Maybe I should work on my time management. That is the important part of tests, not the marks. So while people might be incentivized to compare their marks with their friends,
exactly.
Me myself, I never scored well in those tests. Never. I wasn't even in the top 10.
Now you can see the result.
Exactly. Those tests don't matter. The marks don't matter is what I say. Tests matter. The marks don't matter. The mistakes matter. Pinpoint those mistakes, work on them.
And don't even leave those mistakes. Like note them at least and keep them in mind. Work on them.
Exactly.
Otherwise, there is no point of giving the test if you're not analyzing it.
Yes, analyze the test. Work on your pick out what mistakes you are making. Some mistakes might be coming consistently throughout tests. So work on them, improve on them. I myself had a copy where I was writing down my mistakes after each test. It helped me actually. So it might be something that someone can try.
Exactly. Now coming on to those people who are preparing from self-study.
Mm-hmm.
So what advice would you like to give to them, those people?
People who are self-studying, since they don't have the guidance. They don't have the guidance.
First of all, they ask the question, and I would like to put it in front of you. They ask, will we be able to crack JAM without any institute or with self-study? Your answer, yes or no?
Yes. So, thing is, if I elaborate on that, I'd say that while it is necessary for you to have some sort of guidance, like the institute only does that. It gives you some sort of a path to work on. It tells you कि hey, ये हमने experience के साथ हमने figure out कर लिया है कि इस पे चलेंगे हो जाएगा. That is what an institute is basically. That's all it does.
Exactly.
They don't give you any sort of special content. Everything is available in the books. Even better actually. It's just that they have laid a path for you. You can work on it. People who are doing self-study can instead refer to all these free materials. Like Karan has a YouTube channel. There are various YouTube channels. There is an academy. There's different sources. So what I'm saying is, it is not necessary for you to just say that since I'm not part of an institute, I won't be able to do this. You will be able to. So I'd say maybe consistency again in their case would be important, because they won't have any sort of uh, any badgering कि यार lecture रह गए, lecture देखने. It will be up to them. देखेंगे तो भी अपने लिए, नहीं देखेंगे तो भी अपने लिए. So I think consistency would be important to them.
Exactly. Now, coming on to the most important point, like this is very common that everyone feels demotivated in their jam preparation. Everyone feels demotivated. So how did you handle them? How did you handle the demotivation?
See, after almost every lecture, no, I used to look around, since I was in an offline coaching setting before this whole pandemic situation.
COVID.
I used to look around at my classmates and think, all of them are preparing. Like all of them are serious about this. All of them want to get into IIT. I also want to get into IIT. What would that deciding factor be? Somebody goes and I don't go. What would that factor be? That was a constant thought in my mind. It was very demotivating at times. That am I doing enough? Will I be able to do this? So one of my teachers actually told me this. He said, while you are thinking about all of this, thinking about ki hoga ya nahi hoga, somebody else is actually working ki uska ho jaye.
Very awesome point, actually, I would say.
So yeah, so I kept that in my head. I really took it to my heart, that teacher's quote, and I kind of thought about it कि यार सोचने में क्या करते हैं ना, होगा हो जाएगा, नहीं होगा, leave it.
Exactly. Secondly, like people ask, like, क्या मैं इतनी rank ला पाऊंगा? या rank prediction. They start expecting and predicting their rank. So first of all, rank prediction is like completely useless at this point of time.
Exactly.
You should not think about the result. You should not think about the result.
See, it is
even we did not know after giving the JAM exam, like what rank will we be getting.
We didn't know even one day before the exam. One day before the result.
Exactly.
Even a day before that, we were still wondering. I mean, before maybe the mark sheet came out.
And even like, after giving the exam, you might be like thinking whether we will be getting in top 100 or not.
Exactly. That thought process, na, कि यार first rank, second rank. फिर तब यही था, बस IIT जाने दो, बस please.
Because paper ka level was high.
Very high. It was very high.
Exactly. So rank prediction you should not do. You should just focus on your work right now, study well, and prepare. Now, Sarthak, coming on to the point, how did you prepare for TIFR interviews or TIFR exams? How did you prepare for that? Like any person who is preparing for JAM, does he need to prepare anything extra or any special for TIFR?
See, I didn't myself prepare anything special. I didn't. I just, as I told, I used to build on my concepts a lot. So I think that might have helped me. For my JAM preparation. I used to really get into the into deep
conceptual part.
Yeah. So I think that might have helped. Plus, people who are appearing for the TIFR interview, they don't really test your knowledge that much. Like that has been tested enough in that exam. Like if they are calling you for the interview, I'm assuming that you have qualified their written exam, right?
Yes.
So you have sufficient knowledge. If you have qualified that exam, you have sufficient knowledge. Now, what
kind of questions they ask or what they test? Can you give an example?
Yeah,
any one note example.
So I was given a question where I was asked Whittaker reaction, right? We have heard of Whittaker reaction. So
yes,
I was asked how would you figure out that this intermediate forms in the Whittaker reaction, that 4-membered intermediate that forms.
Yes.
So how do we confirm that it forms? Like what technique can you use? Now, while somebody might know this is what forms, that is knowledge, but you trying to figure out a method, how to confirm that it forms. Now that is what they test. That is different, right? So they don't necessarily test your knowledge. They see how can you apply that knowledge. Right? That is important.
That's very important point. Yes. Okay, so that's very, very important point that you mentioned. So, like no extra preparation you did for TIFR, just building on your concept is very, very important.
Yes.
So basically, if you build concepts, like I would definitely like to advise, if you build concepts, that will help you in JAM, that will help you in TIFR, and also in your future, like master's course as well.
Yes,
we are facing that. Yes, we are facing that in our IIT. He's my classmate. Okay. So now coming on to the point, Sarthak, what are your future aspirations, or like what do you want to do? Like after like MSc or anything? Just a general question about you. That's
Uh,
enough for advices being as a senior. Now,
Not very certain, Karan. I don't think I should be saying
yes.
that. I don't
Yes.
want to confuse
Okay.
the people. So
Yes, yes. Okay. That's the pretty much story with everyone. Nobody is
yeah.
certain right now. Okay. Okay. I hope students might find like students will find this video very, very useful. Now coming on to the one last point, what would you like to say about making short notes? How
Oh,
important they are for any preparation?
insanely
Because
important,
people
Karan.
come and say to me and say like short notes banane mein na, like it's the kind of time waste for me.
No.
People say this because making short notes will take time.
Yeah, they will.
So
See.
what would you like to
Mhm.
say?
Okay. So I feel that amount of time they would have otherwise spent reading the entire thing, like maybe when they're revising before their exam, the amount of time they would have otherwise spent reading that entire thing, they would actually save in the long run if they create short notes. Like
Exactly.
they might take time, and also while doing them, the time that you're spending making those short notes, that thing is going in your head, each of the connection.
Exactly.
Ki, yeah,
Ultimately, it's kind of a revision.
right. While making them, you are getting something fruitful. So I think that is
Exactly.
it. That it's very important to make sure. I only had one register by the end of my preparation. One register, just one.
Nice.
So
Of
that is
short
how.
notes, obviously.
Yeah, of course, yes, short notes. So I sum up
Yes.
all that, all
Better to
those.
revise. It's better to revise, and it's easier to revise.
Yeah,
The one register as compared to 23 or 25.
exactly. And while making that one register, no, it is not necessary that you take somebody else's short notes and you just sum them up. It is a stupid thing to do. While that somebody might have written something because they find it important, it might not be that important to you. What I mean is, somebody might struggle with RS. You are good with RS. You need not necessarily write all that again, all those examples. Instead, write something you are not very good with. So it should be very customizable. It should be according to you.
Exactly. And that's why even when I provide my short notes to the students on YouTube, I also always mention that it is for a reference on how to make short notes. I'm not saying you to copy my short note, but take it as a reference, because I always mention the important points in my short notes. That's why I provide to them so that they can get an reference on how to make short notes.
Yes.
I always say that make your own short notes, but you can take reference from mine because I've mentioned all the important points.
See, it is important for them to have some sort of a map, right? And you provide that map.
Exactly.
Now they can go wherever they want.
Exactly. Very, very important point. I hope the students will get so much of benefit, and I'm very sure they will get a lot of benefit from this video. Thank you, Sarthak, for taking out your time and coming on to my channel. Thank you so much. It was lovely having you here.
It was lovely being here, Karan.
Thank you so much, Sarthak.
All right, Karan. Thank you.